To barkanmu da dawowa daga hutun takaitaccen lokaci a zangon baki na wannan safiya muna tare da Mr. Charles Usie wanda shine shugaban kungiya mai zaman kanta ta Plan International Nigeria wacce take ayyuka akan abin da ya shafi ci gaban yara, haƙoƙin yara da kuma mata da sauran ci gaban ɗan adam baki ɗaya. Za mu ɗora daidai gabar da muka tsaya. So Mr. Charles, just like I said before we go on break, can we look at the areas that are more key to your strategies in Nigeria? I understand you work in different parts of the country. So which parts are you more active and why such areas are strategic in your interventions?
Thank you very much for that question. So for Plan International Nigeria, everywhere in Nigeria is part of our footprint in our focal area. We work across the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. But our strategy suggests that because we do not have enough resources to go around as much as we want, we will always do a ranking and a priority needs assessment. And based on the priority needs assessment, we go to where the need is greatest. So far in our 10 years intervention in Nigeria, we have spent more time, energy, and resources in the 19 states of northern Nigeria. And to that extent, we have significant footprints in the northeast, in the northwest, and in the north central of Nigeria so far. We have footprints in the southern part of Nigeria, but not as compared to what we have in the north. For instance, in Borno State alone, we have 6 offices and 6 intervention sites. Although we have a big office in Maiduguri, and we work within what we call Maiduguri Metropolis, we have offices and footprints and intervention in places like Ran, in Goza, in Pulka, in Damboa, and in Gari. Those are critical areas where we have an office, we have people based there, and we have interventions. But we have in Yobe State, in Adamawa, in Bauchi. We currently have an office and operations in Kano, in Sokoto, in Jigawa, and currently preparing an intervention in Kebbi State. We have also intervened significantly in Plateau and in Benue. In fact, Plateau and Benue, as you all know, have been ravaged a lot by clashes, particularly between farmers and herders.
It's pressing for me to ask at this juncture that when we look at the north, where child rights, education, and gender equality are pressing issues, one may like to ask, despite maybe, let's say, the perspective of the people in the region, what strategies are you applying in achieving your missions here in the region of the north?
So our strategy in the north suggests that we tackle the underlying root causes of what is making children and girls being left out. And those root causes are actually mostly targeted at social, ethnic and social religious issues that actually leave children and girls behind. So one of them has to do with rights. We are proud to say that we have intervened significantly in ensuring that all the states in northern Nigeria have adopted and signed into the Child Rights Act, which provides legislative cover for children and particularly girls. We have also supported the education policy in northern Nigeria to suggest that children who are not involved or enrolled in any formal schooling get that coverage by attending formal schools. So these are our way of tackling the root causes of what we see that has made young people, particularly children and girls, to suffer every form of exclusion and deprivation in northern Nigeria.
When we look at areas such as Maiduguri and the northern part of Nigeria, let me say in general, organizations such as yours measure their success by the number of lives they have touched. Can you share with us maybe 1 or 2 cases where Plan International have made significant changes across the country?
Yes, for instance, in places like Borno, we've encountered a lot of young girls who have been displaced, like multiple forms of displacement. They were, one of our critical stories that we share as a young girl who was displaced, from one of the local governments in Borno, and they moved to Maiduguri. And because of that displacement, they lived in camp for quite a number of years. And for 4 years, she was left out of school and every form of empowerment and progress in her life. But when she encountered Plan, we were able to enroll her in one of the accelerated basic education programs, which we set up with funding from the British government in collaboration with Borno State government. And she was able to enroll back into school, continue her life, and now she feels very fulfilled and is looking forward to a great future. That is a story that represents almost thousands and hundreds of thousands of girls and children who supported like that.
Obviously, that is quite a good one. I think it's a very good example of what you have been doing. So finally, before we go, looking ahead, what are your priorities in Nigeria, and what message would you like to leave with our audience before we depart?
So our strategy is for 5 years, which will end sometime in 2028. We have a target of reaching 200,000 girls, 20 million girls in Nigeria. Now, 20 million girls in Nigeria is not a small feat. We are calling on all partners, communities, state government to join us. We can actually serve 20 million girls in 5 years. We can do this, but we can't do it alone. So we are calling on partners to accompany us. We thank our donors who have supported us so far to bring us to this stage. We currently have supported at least 4.6 million girls. We want to do more. We still have a long way to go. We can't do this alone. We're depending on local organizations, governments, communities to join us and deliver, transformational changes for girls in Nigeria in the next 5 years.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. And on behalf of Nigerians, especially the Northern Nigeria, we say kudos to Plan International. We are so happy to have you on our screen today. It is great talking to you. Looking forward to talk to you some other time.
Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to have this space to talk about work in Nigeria. Thank you.
So masu kallo duka abin da ya sauka kenan a wannan zango na baki inda muka kasance tare da Mr. Charles Usie, wanda shugaba ne na kungiya mai zaman kanta ta Plan International, wacce take fafutuka wajen ganin ta kawo sauyi akan abin da ya shafi haƙoƙin ƙananan yara, bawa mata dama da kuma ci gaban ɗan adam a sassa daban-daban na ƙasa da ma arewacin Najeriya. Da fatan kun ji daɗin kasancewa tare da mu. Za mu je hutun takaitaccen lokaci idan muka dawo shirin Gari ya Waye zai ɗora.